Welcome, pool guys and gals, to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast, where your host, Lauren Broom, will take a splash into many topics in the pool industry to educate all aquatic professionals. Listen in, and you just might be surprised what you'll learn. So let's jump right in.
Welcome today to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast with your host, Lauren Broom, and special guest, Cindy Schieber with Stenner Pump Company, where we're going to discuss liquid chemical feed using their Stenner peristaltic pump. This will be especially helpful with the current state of the industry. I want to mention that Stenner Pump Company is one of our sponsors of the podcast today, along with Skimmer. So please thank our sponsors for today's podcast and listen in about more information about their companies. Thank you so much to both of you for helping make Let's Talk About Pools podcast, a podcast for the pool pros. Today's podcast sponsor is Stenner Pumps. They're a manufacturer of peristaltic metering pumps for reliable performance in commercial pools, spas, splash pads, water parks, and aquatic centers. Made in the USA since 1957, the Stenner Pump Company maintains a 3-day lead time. Stenner supports pool professionals providing free Certified Stenner Technician Training or customized training to fit your needs. Contact Stenner today at 1-800-683-2378 or go to their website, stenner.com.
Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk About Pools. And today's guest on my podcast is Cindy Schieber, who's the Florida Regional Sales Manager for Stenner Pumps. Welcome today, Cindy. How are you?
Oh, good, Lauren. Thank you so much for having me. I've really been looking forward to doing a podcast with you.
Me too. And thank you for doing that training a few weeks ago. That was wonderful that you had done that training for everybody. I think they learned a lot about Stenner Pumps on that.
Oh, good. I really appreciate that being on your YouTube channel, and it's really easy for everybody to access all across the nation anytime.
So tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your position over at Stenner, and just a little bit about Stenner Pump Company and everything like that.
Sure. Well, you had mentioned that I'm the current regional sales manager here in the state of Florida, and that's been my role at Stenner. Well, I've been with them since 2008. I've been in the water industry since then, specifically focused a lot in the pool market since 2008. But I've gone all over the United States visiting Stenner's customers in a variety of markets and applications. So nowadays, I am really focused on traveling the state of Florida, providing technical training and support for the pool professionals out there that work with our pumps in the field. So, but for those of you that may not be as familiar with Stenner, we are headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida. We've been manufacturing peristaltic metering pumps since 1957.
Wow.
So for over 65 years, we've been here in Jacksonville, Florida, making the same Stenner pumps that the folks in the pool industry are most familiar with, the Classic series. And from the beginning, Stenner has served the commercial pool market. That's how we actually came to be. Mr. Stenner, the original inventor of the Stenner pump, of course, he saw a need for automatic chemical feed to all the commercial pools being built for, hotels, condos, and theme parks. And nowadays, though, we work with a variety of water treatment applications, everything from the animal health industry, like poultry, dairy, swine, well water treatment, a lot in the municipality world, like drinking water and wastewater treatment, fun things like metal finishing and circuit board printing, and even brew houses will use Stenner pumps. So any type of water treatment is really what we do. But certainly we are proud to be a preferred pump for the commercial pool industry. So we still are proudly manufactured there at our facility in Jacksonville, Florida. So we are made in the USA for dependable performance.
Yes. And I have to say that I've seen a lot of your Stenner pumps outside of the pool industry as well, because when I worked for the health department down here, we did drinking water systems and that kind of thing. So we saw them out on well systems for chlorination or, and I believe I saw one we have a brewery down in our county, and they had Stenner pumps there in the brewery.
Yeah, you never know where you're going to run into a Stenner pump. That's true. Certainly, we are very proud to be the preferred chemical feed pump for the commercial pool professionals. And one of the best part of my jobs is being out in the field, supporting all aspects of the pool industry. So I do meet with aquatic engineers, manufacturers in our industry, pool builders, and certainly our pool professionals, the service professionals as well.
Awesome. So I'm going to lead into this. Tell me a little bit about like you do training and stuff like that for the pool professionals. So if they call, you'll come out and actually bring a Stenner pump with you and do like training with them on site for their companies in Florida.
Yes, that is really one of the best ways you can set yourself up for success when working with Stenner pumps is our training. So we have a lot of different options for training. We take it very seriously, which is kind of uncommon for a manufacturer, is that we have actual regional managers like myself all around the country to support the technicians in the field with our training as well as troubleshooting visits. So our training is called the Certified Stenner Technician Training Program, and it's a free service that we offer from the factory.
Awesome.
So it specifically covers the Classic Series pump, which is really the most popular choice with installers and the service professionals. And certainly that training is customized to fit what the technician needs. And we have a lot of support materials for that as well if you're not able to meet in person. So maybe videos on our website or on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of manuals and instructional sheets with illustrated steps, so that can be very useful. Certainly we're available to schedule webinars, and we have an excellent tech support department that's ready to assist by phone or even video chat. So our tech support is second to none. You know, when you call the Stenner Pump Factory, you don't get an automated phone system or some kind of a phone tree. You actually get a warm body in Jacksonville. Her name is Bridget. She's typically going to be the one taking your calls and get you to the first available technician to help address your questions. And they can help with a variety of things. So troubleshooting, part numbers, how to identify what parts you need. Certainly they can help you size a pump properly to your application and things like that. So the point is, you've got a lot of support from us at the factory. So don't ever feel like you're out there alone. We've got people in the field to help you, as well as virtually by phone or video chat.
And I want the audience to understand that's a big piece here for pool equipment, because there's some pool equipment that I've heard, even when I worked, for the regulatory authority, the big complaint was no support. They call a number, and I remember one time it was for like an ORP controller, and they called the phone number for support, and they found out that they were talking to the accountant who was trying to troubleshoot the ORP controller.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So if it's a small company and they can't actually handle the support, you're not getting the person that actually can help you. That's such an important piece when you're looking at equipment that you're going to install to run your pool. And
most definitely.
I just, there's some companies that offer great support and others that do not. And I truly have seen that your company actually supports their product, because I know you've hit the road and you're always doing your free certified Stenner training on the road for pool companies. So many of them said they've had Cindy there, at least down here in Florida. And it sounds like that this happens anywhere in the country. So any of my listeners, contact Stenner. They're not just in Florida. They have people in other parts of the country that can come out and do that free training with you to show you how to do it. Take advantage of free training, guys. They're offering free training, and it's a certification you can add to your little list of things that you have. It's awesome. So I'm a big training education person. So, yes, you buy a product, but you're not just buying a product, you're also buying the support that goes behind it. And that's awesome.
Thank you for that. And another point I should make too is that we welcome customers and end users directly, the technicians and professionals in the industry. You are welcome to come visit us at the factory in Jacksonville, Florida. So if you're local or if you're in the state of Florida or if you're just coming to the state and you want to do that, reach out to us and we love nothing more than to roll out the red carpet for our customers and give you a tour of the factory so you can see how we make these pumps from raw materials. It's really quite an impressive process. And if you're an industry professional, you would love to see something like that. And we love nothing more than to host them right there at our factory in Jacksonville. We have 2 other locations, one out in Kansas City and one up in Albany, New York. And they focus on, assembly and shipping for regions of the country so they can get parts and equipment faster than just from Jacksonville, Florida, but everything is still made there in Jacksonville, Florida. So keep that in mind. If you're ever coming near us, let us know. We would love to make sure and give you a tour.
It's basically, it's not top secret how you make them. You're open, you open door, come see how we make these pumps, because I think it helps the pool service professional or pool service company maybe understand a little bit more how they work. I want to thank Skimmer for being a co-sponsor of this podcast episode today. So please listen in to their brief intro about their company and what they have to offer to pool service techs. Thank you so much, Skimmer, for being a co-sponsor today.
This is Skimmer, software for the modern pool professional. What can you do with Skimmer? See all your customers on a map, build service routes quickly, and let Skimmer optimize them for you. Access customer information, including contact details and full service history, anytime and anywhere. Customize work orders to track jobs like repairs and filter cleanings. Email your customers when you complete a service. You can include service details and on-site photos. Does your customer need a part? Add it to the shopping list and track it from purchase to installation. Skimmer will even remind you what parts you need for the day, and you can mark them as installed right when you're finished. Skimmer doesn't just store your service history, it helps you get paid. We integrate with QuickBooks Online for fast, easy invoicing. And we've got more billing options coming soon. All that's just the beginning. Go to getskimmer.com to watch our demo video, check out our online tutorials, and see if Skimmer is right for you.
So let's get into Stenner Pumps and why I have you on my podcast today. So big reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast, Cindy, is because your pump is really a great alternative due to the current shortage we're seeing with Tri-chlor tabs because of the fire that had happened with the hurricane. So there's definitely been that shortage out there, and your pumps feed liquid chlorine and it can feed acid. I know our public pools down here are being built with Stenners on them to get away from also cyanuric acid. So when I was working at the regulatory authority and I was an inspector, I'd say 90% of the public pools that were being built were on Stenner. They were feeding liquid chlorine. They were feeding the acid for pH adjustment. So we were seeing that turn away from Tri-chlor anyway, at least in our state. I don't know if my listeners are nodding their head. They're seeing that in their areas as well. I know the industry can be a little bit different in different areas of the country. I can only attest to what I've seen down here in Florida personally. But, it's a great alternative. If there's not enough Tri-chlor, there's liquid chlorine. It's going to feed liquid chlorine through your feeder. And yes, you put the cost up front, but it's definitely a benefit on the back end because on the back end, Tri-chlor build up a cyanuric acid. That's always the big talk in our industry about cyanuric acid. Mm-hmm. And eventually, as it builds up, it's a contributor to one of the reasons why you might have algae issues, et cetera, et cetera. So when you use liquid chlorine through a Stenner, you're feeding unstabilized chlorine, no cyanuric acid. We still want some cyanuric acid in the water. It's a benefit to the pool technician to have maybe 30, 40 ppm in there. Recommended level in the industry is kind of 30 to 50. But what's nice is you hand feed it into the pool granular, And then once it's there, it's stable. Unless you have a leak or some other major dilution factor going on, it's going to stay there. And you're not going to have it compounding itself, building up like you do with a tri-chlor erosion feeder. So you don't have to drain this pool constantly and partially refill to dilute cyanuric acid out, because you have control over your cyanuric acid while you're still feeding your liquid chlorine. So it's a great alternative going, and that's why I really wanted to have you on and talk about Stenner pumps, because maybe we have a listener out there that hasn't thought about that as an alternative feeder. I've heard a lot of talk about cow hypo, and cow hypo has its own little issues with it. There's not a perfect solution, but this is one good solution that we're going to be talking about. Mm-hmm. So beyond what I just talked about, from your experience, why would a pool technician choose a Stenner pump over any other type of chemical feed pump on the market right now?
So that's a great question. Thank you so much, Lauren. That's very important. It is certainly a top concern for pool professionals in the industry right now. And I really think one of our top selling points, other than the fact that we are made in the USA, which to me is a huge selling point right here in Florida, but we have a history in the commercial pool market. You know, we are really a time-tested pump. Since 1957, we've been serving the commercial pool industry with, you know, our rugged construction. It consistently performs in really challenging environments like, you know, pump rooms and filtration system cabinets. Plus, we are fortunate enough to still maintain our 3-day lead time, which is kind of a rarity in today's world. We consistently, even throughout this whole global pandemic, have performed at a 3-day or less lead time out of our factory here in Jacksonville, Florida. So no supply chain issues or anything, because we are still proudly made here at our factory in Jacksonville, Florida. So I would say those are our biggest selling points.
That's awesome. The made in the USA, I know some stuff is coming from outside the US, and then we're not supporting our workers here. We're not supporting our local economy. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Because I know that doesn't happen in the entire pool industry. A lot of things are being made in other countries.
And, you know, another important note on that made in the USA is that the owner of Stenner Pump Company is actually a veteran himself. He served in the Navy over in Vietnam. So he is definitely a proud American who certainly seeks to produce a quality product and maintain our high quality as it has been since 1957.
It's awesome. So my next question is going to be, who's using Stenner pumps, Cindy?
Oh, very good question. So pretty much any facility that has a commercial pool. And so we're talking hotels, condominium complexes, apartment complexes, neighborhood community pools, or resorts that have a pool, spa, or water park. A lot of the water parks will be using Stenner pumps. Even you'll find them on water features. You know, there's a lot of maybe neighborhoods that have really large water features at their entrance, like, you know, waterfalls and fountains and things like that. So they can even use Stenner pumps on those type of features, or therapy pools. So like even in hospitals, some places that you might recognize that use a lot of Stenner pumps are folks like Disney, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, a lot of the National Hockey League, the NHL, Major League Baseball, National Football League, the NFL teams will use Stenner on a lot of their aquatic therapy pools that they use for their athletes. So that kind of gives you a little snapshot as to where you might run into some Stenner pumps commonly here in the commercial pool world.
Some big names in there too.
Yes, definitely. We're very proud.
So how can a pool tech set themselves up for success when they're working with Stenner pumps, Cindy?
Well, you know, training is really the key to success on working with any chemical feed pump, and Stenner Pump is no different. So certainly you've got the field support like myself here in Florida. Ashley is our new sales rep here in Florida. She does the same training as well. And we've got these regional managers all around the country to support industry professionals, no matter where you're at. So really one of the most important things starts at the beginning at installation, making sure your pump is sized correctly for the right installation so that we can really make sure it's going to perform at that, peak performance that you expect for the longest life you're going to get out of the pump. So once you install it correctly, making sure it's sized properly, and our technical support group can help you figure that out, or certainly your regional managers. We can put into place preventative maintenance measures and schedule the routine maintenance. So chemical feed is really different than anything else you're going to work with. Chemical feed requires preventative maintenance. And so just making sure that we get that on a schedule and we don't set it and forget it is going to be the key to your success. So one of my favorite sayings is take care of the pumps and they will take care of you. And that is so true. If you just keep to a simple, scheduled routine maintenance, it should be one of the last things you ever have to worry about or fight with on your pool. It should really, checking the injection points, scheduling your tube changes are simple and quick procedures that are really going to maximize the life of the pump and the performance on the pool. So that's my best advice for setting yourself up for success, sizing it correctly, scheduling your preventative maintenance, and making sure you're checking the injection points, scheduling your tube changes. Those are simple, quick things that you can do that will really pay off in the whole life of the servicing of that pool.
Totally agree with you. Be proactive, guys, instead of reactive. So being that pool inspector previously in my life, I saw a lot of Stenner pumps, and a lot of what she's talking about, the preventative maintenance, a lot of the issues that I would either close the pool for or whatever would have to do with people thinking this, install the equipment and then it runs and I don't have to do anything. Cars have to have oil changes, things have to be done. There's moving parts in it. There's tubes that can break. We all know when you use chlorine and it's added to water, you get table salt, sodium chloride that builds up. It will build up at the injection point. If it's blocked, you're not going to feed chlorine into your pool, guys. So preventative maintenance. If you don't schedule preventative maintenance for your equipment will schedule it for you at some point. I have that in my class when I teach my CPO classes, and everybody loves that slide that I've put in because it really hits home. People really think they can, I got this fancy equipment. I don't have to do anything with it. And properties need, if they're listening, properties need property management. I know I have some out there that are listeners as well. Property managers, you really need to make sure that the money goes into fixing stuff and running stuff and doing the preventative maintenance. It really needs to happen. They offer the support, but it's only there if you ask for it and you actually do it. It's not going to happen on its own just because Stenner offers it to you guys. And there's a lot to do with Stenner pumps. Yes, there's a lot of moving parts with them and stuff like that. They're great on the chemical side, but you can't, it comes down to what you guys are going to decide to do out there with them. Right, Cindy? Right.
And the biggest thing about the benefit of working with Stenner is that it's very simple preventative maintenance. It's not going to take a lot of your time. It's just about putting it on the calendar and getting it done in a scheduled fashion. So checking that injection point and scheduling tube changes maybe every 6 months on a commercial pool is a good rule of thumb, because that's the real workhorse of your pump. So if we can schedule that, you're going to see a lot better performance for the pool and a lot less headache on the service.
Well, and you guys definitely made it easy to do the tube change on the new Stenner pumps because of the how it comes off and everything. It's so easy.
Yes, thank you. The Quick Pro pump head has been a big success for us. It's been on the market for quite a while now and has really alleviated a lot of the problems that people had maintaining Stenner pumps. Now it's a toolless procedure. We have great videos showing how simple that process is. But again, jump on our website or our YouTube channel to watch that video of how to do a Quick Pro tube change, or certainly reach out to us and we can walk you through it. Very simple, but if nobody's ever shown it to you, you may just look at the pump and wondering how it works, whereas we've got great visual support for you.
So definitely don't be scared of it. It is easy. It's easier than it ever used to be with that new pump head. So please do what she's talking about and do that preventative maintenance. I know we already talked about the training program earlier. So don't forget again about their training program. They'll send somebody out to physically bring a Stenner pump and show you how to take it apart and all the maintenance that goes to it. Correct, Cindy?
Yes, our certified Stenner training program is so helpful. The folks get hands-on with a greaseless feed rate control. So they literally get to tear one down to the bones, learn about wear items, learn the tips and tricks to preventative maintenance, and just the typical advice of how often should we approach what aspect of the training. So it's going to be geared towards what you're working with, as well as your own experience levels. So, there's been a lot of folks I've done training for that have worked with Stenner for 30 years that still walk away going, wow, I didn't know that, So we do have some good tips and tricks. Don't hesitate to reach out to us and take advantage of that free service from us here at the factory.
Awesome. So we know Stenner is used for chlorine and acid feed. Can they be used for other pool solutions?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Yes, we actually have a newer pump called the Econ T. And that pump is perfect for injecting enzymes, for example. So enzyme programs certainly enhance pool chemistry and address problems such as scum line. But the key is consistency and accuracy of delivering those enzymes. And when you have the Econ T, it completely automates the enzyme program, which provides those peak results you're looking for. So on the Econ T, think of it as like an alarm clock. So if you can program an alarm clock, you can work with the Econ T. So you can program multiple timers. Up to 24 separate timed events can be programmed into it. So, for example, I can program one to start every day at 8 a.m. for an hour, and that's just one timed event. And then I can set up another timer for Tuesdays at noon for 2 hours, and yet another for the weekends for 4 hours. Each timer allows you to select the day and the start and stop time. So this pump can be installed even outside when it's installed vertically. And it's also ideal for liquid pool covers and phosphate removers. So any kind of supplemental injection you might need on your commercial pool, the timer pump is a great way to automate that part of your program.
How new is that pump?
Well, I say it's newer, and it's just because it's not 65 years old like the classic series. So the Econ T has probably been out for, I'm going to say 8-9 years, something like that.
Okay.
And they use it for all types of things, even fountain treatment, something that doesn't necessarily need weekly servicing. It just needs a little dose of algicide or something. You can set up a little timer pump on our tank system and automate that type of a program as well.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yes.
I'm thinking of all the applications in my head right now.
Very good.
What is new at Stenner?
Well, we have been excited this last year to introduce the S-fixed and S-variable pumps. So this pump line comes with features that pool professionals have asked for. So advanced options like leak detection and backup pump capability. We listen and respond to the folks that work with the pumps out in the field, and we work to develop products that offer real solutions. So the S-variable, it's been the most popular. They can work with controllers, or they can free feed 24/7. So you would treat it like the same as you do with the classic, plugging it into a controller, or it could free feed 24/7. But the S variable has a fully enclosed motor. It has leak detection, and it has backup pump capabilities. So those are some excellent features, especially for folks here in Florida that have so many outdoor installations.
Oh, yeah.
This motor is fully sealed, so you're going to really get a long motor life. And it comes with a 2-year warranty, which is a step above our standard 1-year warranty from the factory. And the leak detection is a nice feature. So should they ever experience a tube failure, it would shut your pump off. And then with the backup pump capabilities, they could get another pump just like their first S variable, and they can wire them together. If pump A ever goes down due to a leak, it would automatically kick on your backup pump. So it really provides redundancy in like an imperative installation or some place like, for example, an aquatic center where they've got swim lessons in the morning. If they have a pump go down overnight, it really fouls up their water so that they can't have those classes in the morning. Well, if they have a backup pump in place, it's a seamless operation. They'll never go down in that scenario.
So my Parks and Rec audience, that's a good one for you guys so that you don't lose your programs the rest of the day that you're relying on, especially as we're reopening with COVID.
Yes, definitely. And that's something that your regional managers can help with too. If you just want to learn more about it or see it in person, just let us know. We'll make sure to get a demo lined up for you.
Awesome. And how can we get more information, Cindy?
Well, our website is a wealth of information. If you go to Stenner.com, it's a great resource for details on the pumps, certainly on all of our markets, plus literature downloads like our catalog. That way you have easy access to part numbers. Certainly we have the service manual. The basic service manual is different than the manual that comes with the pump. So if you've never seen one, reach out to us. We'll snail mail you one or jump online. You can download a PDF of our basic service manual. It is a wonderful step-by-step instructional that even has illustration drawings on how to do this and that. Everything you need to know front to back on the classic series maintenance and repair. So there's a good selection of training videos on our website too. So if you need to know how to do a tube change, jump online. And those videos are not just on our website, they're also on our YouTube channel. So you can look up Stenner Pump Company's YouTube channel and follow that. We are also active on LinkedIn. So be sure to follow the Stenner Pump Company there. And definitely if you would like a personal visit, for training or to check out the newest pumps, you just let us know by giving us a call at the factory, which is 1-800-683-2378, or email sales@stenner.com, and we can arrange for a visit from your Stenner regional manager.
Awesome. Well, this has been wonderful today. I just love talking to you, Cindy, and it's been wonderful having you on the episode today so the audience can learn about Stenner Pumps and what they have to offer. So thank you for being on today.
Yes, thank you, Lauren, for having us. We've been proud to be a part of Space Coast Pool Schools podcast.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
I will. You too. Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks for diving in today with the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. Be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. And feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts so more aquatic professionals like you can learn about the show. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Let's Talk About Pools podcast.